Okay, let's start. So we have sexual assault overview. So this is PowerPoint number 1. Miss Kylie, mag-pray tayo.
Sir, ako po?
Yes, please.
Okay po. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father in heaven, be with us this afternoon as we savor your divine presence, as we study today's topic, that we may discern thy holy plan and fast forward to your return again to restore the new heavens and the new earth. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Bitas, start.
Okay po, Doc. Rape traditionally referred to as forced vaginal penetration of a woman by a male assailant. Now it is gender-neutral term sexual assault. Legal definition of criminal sexual assault is any genital or oral or anal penetration by a part of the accused body or by an object using force or without the victim's consent.
So traditionally, it is a male, female with the use of genital organs, as we have discussed in the last meeting. And now, under new Philippine laws, it is sexual assault, which is a gender-neutral term. Rape, when it involves the genital organs of male, female, then a use of objects, fingers, whatever, is sexual assault. Okay. Now, the legal definition of a criminal sexual assault is any genital, oral, anal part of the accused body or by an object using force or without the victim's consent. So without the victim's consent, maaaring yung victim ay under the influence of drugs, under the influence of alcohol, all naka-restrain, or physically impossible to stop the advance of the assault. Okay? So criminal assault, sexual assault is often further stratified to include acquaintance rape, date rape, statutory rape, child sexual abuse, and incest. Okay. Mr. Cyrus, can you explain each, if you can?
Some part lang po. For example po, the child sexual abuse. This is the example po nung pong video where yung uncle po is meron pong mga physical touch po na ginagawa po doon sa kanyang nephew or ano po na without consent po.
Okay. Si Miss Jeneline.
Hello po, Doc. So, I will try to explain po yung incest po. I think po yung pong incest is nangyayari kapag ka po yung abuser or yun pong ng rape po or ng rape po is parang family related po. Yan. Tapos pag naman po acquaintance rape, I think ito po yung um, parang hindi po sila dating, hindi rin po sila family related or they are just like acquaintance lang po per se. And for child sexual abuse naman po, it mainly involves yung ang victim po ay yung mga bata or yun po mga age na, I mean, nasa tender age. And yung date rape naman po, I think yan po yung mga rape po na nangyayari, especially sa mga meron pong relationship, yung may dating relationship po. And yung statutory rape naman po, as far as I could remember, ito po yung mga rape na nag involve po nung mga under 16 years old po yung mga naging victim. Yan po.
Okay, so these inclusions of these types or situations are found in the books of Legal Medicine by Olarte, volumes 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. Miss Baramot, start. Miss Berna. Si Miss Kylie ulit. Hello. Si Miss Mariana na lang. Miss Mariana, start. And then, Miss Simpson.
Acquaintance rape refers to those sexual assault committed by someone known to the victim, frequently a date, teacher, employer, or family member. Incest perpetrator is related to the victim, family member, legally barred from marriage, step relatives, parental figures living in the home.
Thank you. So, self-explanatory yan. Legally barred from marriage, meaning blood relatives. Step relatives, yung mga bawa na nag-asawa yung isang lalaki sa babae, yung babae na merong mga anak from previous marriage. So, the siblings are step relatives. Okay? Ano ang common context dito sa incest? Anong situation ang common sa kanila sa examples na ito? Miss Umali.
Can you repeat the question po, Doc? Naglalag lang po kami.
Naglalagda. So, dito sa incest, merong 5 nakasulat. Ano ang common denominator dito sa 5 situations na to, or context? Naglalag ba? Si Miss Andrea na lang. Miss Andrea, Miss Andrea, si Miss Chu, Miss Chu, Miss Gabriel, tinig niyo ako? Hello?
Yes po, Doc.
Sino yan?
Audible po.
Sino? Sino yan?
Sinil po.
Miss Neil, anong common denominator dito sa 5 context na to?
Ano po, sila po lahat ay related po, like relative. So, meaning to say, may blood or may blood relation po or they are family po, part of a family.
Ano pa? Isa. Umuulan pa ba dyan?
Opo, Doc. Malakas po yung ulan.
So dito, they are blood relatives. Pangalawa, they live in one residence. Okay. And some of them are dependent on the perpetrator. Okay. Kaya, gawan man sila ng mild form ng sexual assault, ay hindi sila makakaangal. Isang example ay mga batang babaeng maliliit. Hindi makakaangal yon dahil they live on the same home. Doon sila kumakain, doon sila tutulog. Kung magsusumbong man yung survivor o victim, ay napipilitang hindi isumbong dahil kung sakaling sumbong niya, nawawala siya sa tahanang yon at saan siya kakain kung hindi kukunin siya ng pulis, ililipat sa DSWD. Okay ba yan, Miss Tolentino? Miss Tolentino?
Yes po.
So wala silang magawa. Total, nabubuhay rin lamang sila. Maaaring siya sabi, ay, kung lalayas kami, hindi kami makakakain. Tutulog kami sa labas. Lalo na pag umuulan, kagaya ng nangyayari ngayon dyan sa Batangas, sa Pilipinas. Okay ba yan? Miss Tolentino? Okay.
Apa, parinig naman po.
Ikaw naman ang susunod. Yan.
Babasahin po buong slide.
Yes, please.
Sige po.
Explain mo na rin.
Date rape occurs when a dating relationship, classic one-on-one date, is no longer the social norm. May be seen in a group at a dance, a party, or another unsupervised group activity. Statutory rape, sexual intercourse with a female under the age of 12.
Okay. Okay. So what we are actually presenting is the medical perspective of sexual assault. The previous slide shows only the introduction, and possible context of the situation. Okay. Now, there is a thin line separating an MD and a forensic pathologist, forensic medicine practitioners' view of sexual assault. Both employ the procedures of investigating an alleged sexual assault case. So, almost the same ang method ng forensic pathologist and forensic medicine practitioner sa investigation ng sexual assault, with the investigator, police investigator, or any other law enforcement agency investigator. That is, they need to know the history of the situation. So, it is the what, in parentheses, what. A private MD may not be interested at all doing a sexual assault case, as this entails frequent court appearances not being enumerated for his efforts, services, security issues and concern, not enough experience handling sexual assault cases, threats, and other more reasons. Okay. Now, this article from which I got this view, the victim and survivor from now on will use these two terms. So I got these terms there. Victim is seen as weak, mahina, versus the survivor, who is able to tackle his predicament or her predicament at the moment, albeit the long-term effects of the experiences. So yung mga survivor na yan, yung mga tinatawag nating warrior. Okay? Kahit na mayroon ka silang problem like being subjected to sexual assault, lumalaban sila. They are able to contact the law enforcement agency, and if they are able financially to lodge a case against the perpetrator, they will be able to do so. So, iba-ibang context. In contrast to the weak one, tatahimik na lang, which kagaya ng mga kasambahay nating mga babae, pag ina-assault ng mga amo, usually they are of less educated, financially, what they call it, deficient. Hindi sila pwedeng file ng investigation or case against the perpetrator, as they have no money to do so, walang financial backup. Besides being less educated, they do not know how to navigate the legal steps in attaining justice. Okay ba yan, Mr. Villamin? Mr. Villamin? Si Miss Torres na lang. Miss Torres. Miss Torres. maghanap tayo ng matatanungan. Miss Cañero, okay ba yan?
Yes po.
Ikaw naman ang sunod. Ah,
Ito po, yan po ang babasahin po.
teka. I-adjust ko lang ito. Bakit kaya nagtago yung sa taas? Yan. Okay. Lahat dyan na mababasa mo, read them. Okay.
Basically, a sexual act plus the background of the assailant, personality of the assailant. In 1977, sexual assault is typically an issue not of sexual motivation but of power and control. Assailants display anger, violence, hostility, and aggression, according to Groth and Burgess, 1977. And in 1997, their power over the victim is more satisfying than the actual sexual act.
Can you
Della
attempt to,
Hanta and Baram, 1997.
can you attempt to explain, please?
Sabi po dito, in 1977 daw po, pag yung assailant daw po is nag-show po ng sexual act, usually daw po ang sinoshow po nila sa victim po is like anger, violence, hostility, and aggression po. And then in 1997 naman po, yung definition po ni Delahanta and Baram po. Yung assailant po is showing power over the victim po. So, ibig sabihin po is that control po nila yung victim. Yun lang po.
Dito, ibig sabihin, because they have the ability to do the assault, they can, because they have a inner personality disturbance. Yan, kagaya ng galit sila, violent, hostility, at merong aggressive behavior. And hindi lang sexual act ang kanilang gusto, ang kanilang pinoproject ay they are powerful. Paano yun? Kagaya ng mga politician, si Haloslos, doon sa libro ni Olarte, if you will read the book, it's 1,005 pesos, volumes 1 and 2. Nirecommend ko doon sa bookstore sa Lyceum, ay sabi ni Dean masyadong mahal. Ang mga recommended lang daw up to 500 pesos. Ewan ko kung totoo yun. Maaaring totoo dahil sabi ni Dean. Okay. Baka daw hindi ma-afford ng estudyante. So, suggestion ko, why not get the books from the publisher and stock several copies in the library. Ewan ko kung ano ng progress doon. Okay? So, anyway, the sexual act is not satisfying. What is more is that they are able to project their power. Okay? Sino nga yun? Miss Cañero ulit. Miss Cañero.
Threefold role of an MD. Medical concerns, injuries, diagnosis and treatment, emotional state, short, long-term support, legal role, interpreting evidence collected. Sometimes these three roles are in conflict, like some serious medical conditions may preclude the collections of specimens for legal purposes.
Can you explain when you are able? Escañero?
Hindi ko po masyado po nakuha yung since parang hindi po connected yung iba pong nakalagay.
Okay, so yung meron lang mga asterisk. Then, yung mga to the right, ay parang subtopics. Okay, start. Hindi ka gigradean. Just tell me. Okay. Tell us. Yeah. Sige. O yung huli na lang. Yung double asterisk. Ano ang pagkaintindi mo dyan? Mamaya balikan kita. Sino pang nandito? Si Miss Rockford. Miss Rockford. Miss Carla. Mukhang malakas ang ulan dyan. Tawagin ko nga. Ito si Mr. Sino yung pumasok sa atin? Si Mr. Carr. Mr. Carr? Okay ka na? Miss John Carr? Hello? De Luna? Malakas ang ulan siguro. Okay, so the threefold role of medical concerns. So, person, if you have a case of sexual assault and the survivor, we will call it a survivor. Okay. Sometimes the victim, in my view, is the one yung namatay na. Okay. So yung survivor, whatever injury he gets, will be examined by the examining forensic doctor. And there are injuries, diagnosis, and treatment to be dealt of. So, bawa, may bleeding yung survivor. The first thing to do is that the bleeding should be tackled before a normal police procedural investigation will be carried out. Meaning, mas priority yung bleeding ng survivor. Okay? Bakit? Kasi kung pababayaan natin yung investigador na mag-imbestiga tapos nagkaroon ng bleeding, patuloy ang bleeding, baka mamatay yung survivor and magalit din ang mga relatives at demanda pa yung police. So, the first concern is that the medical medical condition of the survivor is being tackled. So under these injuries, so injuries could be serious or mild. Serious, halimbawa, karoon ng mga internal bleeding yung survivor, pinagsusuntok ng perpetrator sa tiyan, pinagsusuntok yung leeg, there is internal bleeding sa leeg, maaaring mamatay yung survivor dahil leeg yun. Marami dong mga important vessels to the brain na pwedeng magkaroon ng blood clot, considering that the neck has a closed compartment. Dikit-dikit yung mga blood vessels sa neck. Kaya pag sinuntok man yun, namamaga, nagkaroon ng internal bleeding, baka hindi na rin makahinga yun dahil doon sa throat, magkaroon ng bleeding, pumunta yung blood sa loob ng lalamunan. Then the diagnosis and treatment. So having diagnosed, but if the survivor has a less or serious injuries, the treatment will follow. So pag severe ang injury, surgical treatment agad. Pag minor, maaring bigyan lamang ng mga analgesics, yung mga pampalis ng sakit ng katawan. So the injuries, physical injuries that I'm mentioning are called physical injuries which are extragenital, meaning they are outside the genital area. So ini-examine din ang genital areas for genital injuries. So sa medical report or the official forensic report of sexual assault, usually may heading doon na extragenital injuries, merong description 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If none, the report would be no extragenital injuries found. However, so genital injuries, there may be some minor or serious injuries like what? Abrasions, scratches, and bleeding sa genital areas. Maaaring gawa ng objects used in the assault or the penis of the male perpetrator sa female survivor. Sa LGBT, ginamitan ng mga bote, tangkay, sex toy sa kanyang anus, sa mga LGBT, sa mga bakla, sa mga kasama na natin ang tomboy. Okay. So, yan ang pagkakaintindi natin sa LGBT, yung mga tomboy, bakla, transgender. Okay. So, we use that. Okay. Now, sa diagnosis and treatment, when there are injuries at the genital area, it should be labeled as serious, mild, or moderately serious. So, if it needs treatment, it should be according to the degree of severity. So, aside from the diagnosis, while the treating doctor is on the genital area, the doctor can help to collect evidence like semen, blood, hair. Okay? But that case is when the forensic doctor is examining the survivor. However, most hospitals walang forensic medicine specialist na dumadating at the time of emergencies. Okay? So, however, some staff in surgery or medicine in private hospitals are having designated doctors in emergency cases of sexual assault nature. Yeah. So most public hospitals have those training provided sa public hospital doctor sa UPPGH, Jose Reyes Memorial Hospital, Pasig Provincial Hospital, Batangas Regional Hospital. Okay. So the emotional state should be tackled after the physical injuries were dealt with in a short-term or a long-term support. Short-term treatment, maaaring bigyan siya ng pampatulog for the night, for the day, for 1 or 2, 3 days. Okay, kagaya ng bawa hindi makatulog, injection na ng Valium, okay? But she should stay in the hospital for further or for his own protection. Okay? Long-term support, nandiyan pumapasok ang psychiatric, psychological support. Legal role. Okay. The legal role of the forensic medical officer is to interpret the evidence collected. Okay? So, kung merong semen, the forensic doctor can interpret that there is positive semen. Okay. However, the positive semen collected in the vaginal vault of the female will only say that it is positive for seminal fluid. The positivity of the seminal fluid will not indicate that a sexual assault may have happened. It is because the woman consented for sexual intercourse, which is called consensual sexual intercourse. However, during the consensual sexual intercourse, the woman maring masaktan can delete the consensuality of the situation. That's where the sexual assault comes in. Okay ba yan, Miss Alessandra? Panaligan?
Good evening po. Pasensya na po, Dok, na ngayon lang po ulit nakain. Nawalan po ng internet sa tunnel po.
Okay. Next. Ano na ba? Nasaan na ba tayo? Ikaw naman, Miss Panaligan. Read.
Okay po, Dok. Special considerations. Taking the HX po, Dok.
History. Taking the history and PE is physical examination. MX is management. Okay, start.
Okay. Taking the history, conducting the physical examination differs from the routine consultation. The emotional needs of the woman is paramount. The examination room should be quiet, private, and conducive for evidence collection and photographing. Sexual assault survivors need to be believed, to be listened to, and a non-judgmental attitude from their doctor.
Okay, explain whenever you get.
Sa pagkakaintindi ko po, Doc, ay ang mga sexual assault survivors po, bilang us po na examiners ay kailangan po natin silang intindihin, kailangan po natin silang paniwalaan. Kasi doon po natin malalaman kung ano po ba talaga yung pinagdaanan nila bilang sexual assault survivors. And kailangan tayo bilang examiners or specialists is hindi judgmental. Kasi ang atin po talagang work is to listen and to diagnose them po based on facts. So it
Okay.
is important po to not be biased for anything na dapat wala po tayong maipapakitang masamang attitude towards our patients, especially on sexual assault survivors.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Miss Torres. Miss Torres. Miss Torres. Saan na napunta yung ating mga tao? Miss Godrella. Miss Godrella. Okay, balikan natin si Miss Neil. Miss Neil. Start.
Sexual assault survivors need to be supported po. I mean, with all of this po, I think po na kailangan po nila ang mga ito dahil una po sa lahat, hindi po biro yung pinagdaanan nila. So that means meron pa po silang trauma, maybe in shock pa po sila, kaya po kailangan po nila ng utmost care, and hindi po natin sila dapat husgahan dahil minsan po kasi kapag ka po ganyang sitwasyon, may instances po na nasisisi po natin yung victim dahil like isipin po natin na kasalanan nila kaya nangyari yun sa kanila, but it should be the other way around. Kailangan po natin silang intindihin in a way na hindi po dapat bias yung pag-iisip natin sa kanila, and kailangan po nating ipakita sa kanila na they are heard and they are seen, at iparamdam po natin sa kanila na meron pong tayo po ay willing makinig at willing po tayong makikooperate sa kung ano man po yung kailangan nila dahil sila nga po yung naging victim ng hindi birong assault. Yan po.
Ay, yung iba.
Confidentiality naman po, to me ay kailangan din po ito kasi parang normal practice naman po natin na in professional setting, especially po sa patient-doctor, kailangan po talaga i-confidential po. Hindi po yung kapag ka po may nagtanong lang sa atin na random people ay i-disclose natin sa kanila. So it's a big no-no na i-share po natin sa iba yung pinagdadaanan ng ating patient. And also, ano ba daw? Parang it has something to deal with privacy din po. Kumbaga, let's keep all of this discrete information in private dahil nga po it's a sensitive information, and we don't want these victims na mahiya dahil nga po, kumbaga parang minsan po kasi kapag ka po nalalaman po ng ibang tao, tendency po nung mga victim is mahiya or be ashamed of themselves, Kumbaga parang mas bababa po yung self-esteem nila at baka po hindi na po sila magtuloy. Kumbaga parang iki-cage na lang po nila yung sarili nila because they are afraid na marami pong makaalam at hindi po sila maintindihan where they are coming from. And for safety naman po, I think this is very important kasi um, may hindi ko po alam sa iba pero minsan po kasi um, yun pong mga abuser. Minsan po kasi nabalik. Kumbaga parang kailangan po nating i-observe yung safety ng mga survivor para po hindi na rin po mangyari pa in the future, hindi po sila magkaroon ng contact with their abuser at wala na pong mangyaring parehong sitwasyon sa kanila. Let them feel safe dahil um, at that point po kasi baka po meron pa po silang takot pa po sila or meron pa po silang parang dinaramdam na baka po the abuser is just around. So, it's important that we make them feel safe para po hindi po nila maramdaman na nag-iisa sila. And, ayun po. Yun lang po, Doc.
Miss Rocaport. Miss Rocaport. Balik tayo kay Miss Kylie. Miss Kylie. Nasa bahay ka ba, Miss Kylie?
Nasa labas po ako, Doc.
Nasa school?
Hindi po.
Ikaw naman?
Repeat ko lang po na question, Doc.
Ito, diniscuss na ni Miss Neil yung iba dito. Pwede mo rin i-discuss din. Na-discuss niya.
Okay, Doc. Na-discuss po yung to be supported, validation, safety, privacy. Doon naman po talaga ako sa support ko. Especially the topic is very important. Kailangan po mag-economy survivor, whether they want to pursue legal action or hospital. Parang no, parang hindi po na already nag-action their autonomy or their control to force them to pursue legal action would just be a continuation of that loss of control or that taking away that control from them. The confidentiality na discuss na din, respect na touch mo na din. Yung final bullet to this is to avoid the use of the word make us not in medical term, but given for that given for that use of appropriate terms is very important in the field, not only medical but also in the legal field. It's important not to in the revised penal code. There is a given definition for legal. If you were to use that word, especially in a legal setting, it would be giving sort of a presumption that crime has already occurred without even without the final judgment of the court. So it's better to use terms that are also directed to the crime infracted, but not to use such a definitive term as a
Okay. Thank you. Sino pa ba? Miss Dastas, your turn. Miss Dastas?
Yes po, Doc.
Sige, your turn.
Important items to be covered in... Sorry, Doc. Hindi po siya masyadong visible po yung text.
Sige, okay lang. Papalitan ko yung slide na yan. Sige. Papalitan ko ng color. Sige.
Hindi po. Number of assailants, age and identifying information for each assailant, date, time, and location of the alleged assault, details of sexual contact as penile, digital or object penetration, or oral or anal intercourse, as well as documentation of any ejaculation or urination of the assailant, whether condoms are used, type of physical restraints used as weapons, drugs or alcohol, violent contact as punching or hitting.
So ito yung nasa mind ng forensic medicine practitioner. So, paano mo siya may explain, Miss Dastas?
Sorry, Doc, can you repeat the question po?
Paano mo siya may explain? Yan. Ano ang comments mo dyan sa importance of this consideration?
Sa pagkakaintindi ko po, parang ito po yung mga circumstances and things po to be considered in harassment or sexual assault nga po. Gaya po ng age and identifying information about dun po sa assailant, kung kailan po naganap, kung anong oras, at kung saan po nangyari yung alleged assault. Tapos yung mga details, gaya po ng details or mga pangyayari, gaya nga po kung may contact na penis or digital object po na pinasok po doon sa private part po ng isang tao or ng isang babae. Tapos, kung condoms po are used and ayun po, kung may violent contact po na nangyari, gaya po ng punching or hitting. Ayun lang po.
Okay, so these are the data that a forensic medical practitioner wants to know about the incident. So that by that time he can appear in court, he knows the circumstances and correlate them with the findings on the official report. And knowing all of this, he can direct or use this information how we will be able to proceed with the manner of collection of pieces of evidence like semenology, throat swab, just in case there are semen on the throat. And kung nangalmot yung survivor, kailangan kumuha din ng specimen under the nails. Okay? Sino pa ba dyan? Balikan natin si Miss Alessandra Panaligan. Okay. Sa history taking.
Yes po, Doc. History taking. Activities of the victim after the assault, such as changing of clothes, bathing, douching, drinking or eating, dental hygiene, urination or defecation, other sexual counts. Gyn gyno gynecologic. Tama po ba, Doc?
Gynecologic.
Gynecologic history, LMP or last menstrual period, contraceptive use, pregnancy history, last consensual sexual encounter, any recent episode of gynecologic infection and pelvic surgery, time of history and physical examination.
Okay, paki-explain mo. Whenever. Yung douching ay yung labatiba.
Ano po yun, Doc?
Yung parang labatiba, para yung malaking syringe na may tubig. Papasukin mo yung tubig doon sa genitals o kaya sa puwet para lumabas yung yung dumi or fluid. Okay. Sige.
Yung pagkakaintindi ko po, Doc, ay after po nung assault, ang mga activities po na ginagawa ng victim ay commonly yung pag-change po ng clothes nila. Kasi I think kapag po na, for example po, ayun, may gumawa po sa kanya ng sexual assault, nandidiri po siya dun sa ginawa ng assault po sa kanya. So, mag-change po siya ng clothes and then maliligo siya. And then, especially po, lilinisin niya yung kanyang genital area. Then after po nun is, since wala po siyang energy after the assault, kakain and then hygiene po. Also, pwede din po siyang umihi and then tumae. Ganun. Sa gynecologic po, history po, Doc. Ang alam ko lang po dito yung last menstrual period. Pwede po kasi yun ma-track as a woman. Since every 21 days po ay nagkakaroon po ng period ang isang babae. And yung contraceptive use po ay para po ma-prevent yung pregnancy. And yung pregnancy history po ay kung kailan po yung last na siya ay yung sa Tagalog, umanak po. Last consensual sexual encounter, any recent episode of gynecologic infection and pelvic surgery. Yun po, yung history ng kanyang infection po and any surgery po specifically sa pelvic. Yung time and history and physical examination, I think yung time of history po, Doc, it pertains to kung kailan po nangyari yung assault. And then yung physical examination po is kung kailan po siya na-examine po.
Okay.
Yun po, Doc.
So yung LMP na-aral na natin last semester yun.
Opo, forensic
Yung
medicine 1.
last menstrual period, PMP, previous menstrual period, and EDD, expected date of delivery or expected date of confinement. Okay? So, importante yon kasi baka during the time of sexual assault sa male, female, fertile yung babae, and after 9 months, manganak siya. So, during that time, ay marirepair yung delivery niya at the time of the sexual assault. Okay? So, while there was an incident of sexual contact, it can happen before or after the sexual assault. So, kailangan din ng forensic medical practitioner yung information na yun. Bakit? Kasi pag-collect ng evidence, lalo na yung seminal fluid, baka sa DNA examination, dalawang DNA profile ang makuha. Okay? So, kung merong ganong sexual contact before and after, the result of the DNA, hindi na mas-surprise yung DNA laboratory. Okay? Meaning, tama yung sinabi nung survivor na meron siyang sexual contact before and after. That's why wala nang confusion doon sa double profile ng DNA results. Okay. Miss Jill ulit. Hindi natin makontak yung iba. Nasaan kaya sila?
Physical examination. Sexual assault survivor often feel very fearful undergoing a physical examination. Make her feel in control of the procedure. Choice of a female medical doctor if she wants one. A relative or friend can be present, especially if the sexual assault survivor is a minor. Prepared and explanations of what will happen and progress during the entire physical examination. Twofold purpose of the physical examination: to assess her physical injuries and to collect evidence for forensic evaluation and possible legal proceedings.
Sige, explain mo yan.
So, dito naman po sa physical examination, it is expected na yun po mga naging victim po ng sexual assault ay makaramdam pa po ng takot na magpa-physical examination since they just went through a very traumatic experience. They are afraid na this physical examination might prolong po yung kanilang pinagdadaanan, and since let us admit that they have just experienced betrayal, they might think na ito pong physical examination could also be a fruit of one. And we have to make her feel in control of the procedure. Make her feel in control of the procedure siguro po in a sense na alam niya po at yun pong mga terms po kung paano po siya i-examine is something na gusto po niya or fully consented niya po. Kumbaga hindi po hindi po magiging parang magiging means or parang reason para po maging uncomfortable po siya during the physical examination. Choice of a female doctor if she want one, especially po siguro kapag ka po ang abuser po niya ay lalaki. So most likely po mag-request po siya ng babae na doctor just for her to feel safe and secure since woman to woman po na interaction. A relative or friend can be present especially if the sexual assault survivor is a minor. So siguro po maganda rin po na meron pong guardian na kasama po yung pong yun nga po, especially if bata po siya, para lang po maramdaman niya po na meron po siyang company and someone na rin po na parang mag-guide sa kanya during the physical examination. Kasi minsan nga po, pagka po ganyang sitwasyon, mostly nga po takot sila or ayaw po nilang maiwanang mag-isa dahil fresh pa nga po yung nangyari sa kanilang isip, they're still in trauma and in shock. Kaya mas maganda po at makakatulong na meron po silang kasama. And prepared and explanations of what will happen and progress during the entire physical examination. Maganda po ito in a way na nai-inform po fully
yun pong i-examine or yung patient po kung ano po yung klase ng examination na gagawin sa kanya at kung paano po yun gagawin para po hindi po siya nasya-shock at saka po para po fully aware po siya sa magiging process na gagawin sa kanya during the examination. And last po is twofold purpose of the physical examination is yun nga po para po ma-assess po yung physical injuries na nakuha niya and for us to determine kung ang injuries po ba na nakuha niya is mild or moderately serious or serious na physical injury. And para na rin po makakollect ng enough or sufficient na evidence para po masupport po yung kaso at yun nga po, maging admissible po siya as an evidence in legal proceeding. Yun po.
So itong survivor ay usually nararamdaman nila na during the physical examination ay parang merong repeat yung process ng assault by the assailant. Yan. Kaya they feel fearful. Now, the procedure, the survivor has the control on how the procedure should be progressing. Either in the middle of the procedure, she can say that, stop, and I would like to return tomorrow. Pwede yun. Let her sign a waiver that she stopped the procedure now and tomorrow she'll be back. But explain to her that the procedure might be stopped today, but the specimen that we need to collect may be not sufficient enough tomorrow because the specimen to be collected are, what do you call it, magkakaroon ng enzymatic degradation, lalong-lalo na yung seminal fluid. Lalong-lalo na if the specimen is present sa throat, kung magsisipilyo siya o magmumog ng Listerine. Okay. Next, ito nga physical presence of a guardian, a relative or friend that the survivor would like to be present, especially yung minors nga. Okay? So, you must say to the survivor that the next thing that we will do after taking photos of your injury on the breast, first, a picture should be taken without the number or ID number of your case. And the second picture would be taken with the number of your case. Okay? And after this, you should explain to the survivor that the next and most important part of the examination, physical examination, is the assessment or evaluation of your genital injury. Yan. Usually, it is done sa last, what do you call it, during the last part of the procedure, just to avoid the vexation or unpreparedness of the survivor. Okay ba yan, Ms. Cañero? Miss Cañero? Wala na. Si Mr. Lagan. Mr. Lagan? Mr. Lagan? Sobrang lakas siguro ng ulan sa kanila. Okay. Miss Tolentino? Miss Tolentino?
Yes po. Lahat po.
Meron pang kasunod.
Sige po. Babasahin lang naman
Ito,
po.
ito. Ito,
Medyo
para sa...
malabo lang.
Yan.
Ito pa to. Sige po. Paano pa basahin yung title?
Physical examination.
Continue. Valuable evidence may be gathered from the clothing of the women up to 1 month. Only the women can handle her clothing. Place clothing in a paper bag so these can breathe and not gather bacterial growth. If woman presents immediately after sexual assault and has not changed clothing or not showered, she can undress on sheets of newspapers and anything that falls can be collected. Do general survey. Is she conscious? Demeanor? Appearance? Is she coherent? Speech? Or has alcoholic breath? Do physical examination in an orderly fashion with non-threatening areas examined first to build confidence and trust.
Explain.
Sa pagkakaintindi ko po, dalawa po dun sa general survey, is if i-examine po physically if conscious po ba yung woman po, or kung yung appearance niya po ba is magulo, or kung yung tawag po dito, kung yung yung kilos niya po ba is, wait lang po. Or kung yung kilos niya po ba is okay pa po or hindi. And kung yung speech niya po ba ay is either may influence po ng alcohol or wala. Wait lang.
Sino yung kasama mo?
Si mama po.
Sige. Matututo si mama. Sige.
Hello po.
Sige.
Okay na po yan. Yun lang po.
Sige pa. Ano pa?
When doing physical examination po, dapat po in an orderly fashion po, or with non-threatening areas examined. Parang kumbaga po kapag i-examine po natin yung physical appearance po nung survivor po, is ayun nga po, parang in a careful manner po, para po hindi sila ma-threaten or hindi po sila matakot when doing physical examination po. Yun lang po.
So dito, PEN, orderly fashion. Yan yung binanggit natin kanina na you do first the non-genital areas. Okay? Tama rin yung sinabi mo na non-threatening, gentle, yan. Manner of examining areas. Physical examination of the survivor. Okay? So itong sexual assault survivor kit ay mayroong papel doon sa kasama sa kit. Miss Tolentino, ano ka ba? Double degree or what? Tolentino, double degree of forensic science?
Forensic po, Doc.
Sige. So, yung psych, it contains yung paper where the survivor stands. Sterile yun. Lahat ng bumagsak doon sa papel ay usually kinokollect for DNA evidence. Hair, ano pa ba? Kung anong dust na bumagsak ay kinokollect for evidence. Okay? And it contains documents to be filled up, paper bag to just in case you have to collect, wet swabs from the throat or the genital area, body diagrams showing a body of the survivor on the front sketch, back sketch, right side of the sketch, left side of the sketch that pinakita ko sa inyo during one of the videos last semester. So, dito sa general survey, is she conscious, comatose, semi-conscious, kung natatanong mo ba siya, and ang sagot niya ay what they call malinaw o hindi. Ang appearance niya, gulo ba ang buhok niya, gulo ang muka, okay. Ang demeanor, kung natatawa siya, naiiyak, o natatakot, okay. Or, if the survivor is an adult, kung siya ba ang kanyang tawag ng gawi ay parang 7 years old, which means na sa unang tingin mo pa lang doon sa survivor ay maaring merong mental disorder or mental deficiency. So, alam naman ninyo, if you can see a person with a mental deficiency, unang tingin pa lang, alam mo na may parang yung pag-iisip ay hindi tama o kulang-kulang. Okay? Is the speech slurred? Bakit slurred ang speech? Gawa ba ng alcohol, drugs, o pinukpok ang ulo na medyo mahilo-hilo pa siya? Okay? So, coherent, pag tinanong mo ay, nasaan ka? Nandito po ako sa Araneta Coliseum. Nandun po ako sa Lima. Pero actually, she is in Batangas Regional Hospital. Ikaw ba ay nasa Batangas Regional Hospital? Hindi po. Nasaan ka? Ako po ay nasa Siumart, Cubao. Okay? So, meaning, hindi siya coherent. Okay? Okay ba yan, Miss Alessandra Panaligan?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay. So, the clothing of the woman usually are collected and submitted to the forensic section of the facility na na-examine yung woman. Okay? Only the woman can handle her clothing. Why? Para wag magkaroon ng mix-up ng DNA in handling the specimen for DNA purposes. In some institutions, your forensic medical officer wears PPE. Ano yung mga PPE natin, Miss Panaligan?
Personal protective equipment po, number 1 ay mask, gloves, then yung lab coat po or lab gown po, Doc.
Okay.
And yung mga protective glasses din po.
Okay. So, mga disposable lahat. So that is when you do a living survivor of sexual assault. Pag during autopsies, we wear rubber boots, surgical clothing, plastic clothing, disposable clothing, apron. We use yung helmet. Yung helmet na yung visor ay natutupi, transparent, para pag in-autopsy mo, pag binuksan mo na yung katawan ng namatay na na sexual assault victim na yon kasi patay na. Hindi ka matalsikan ng blood sa mata mo. Okay. Then gloves. Okay. Next. Si Miss. Sino naman ba tatawagin natin? Miss Cañero, nandiyan ka na? Miss Cañero. Ba't yung iba hindi natin makontak? Mahina ang internet? Or what? Miss Torres. Miss Torres? Baka umatin pa ng graduation si Miss Torres. Si Miss Chu. Bakit hindi natin sila makontak? Offline? Balikan natin ulit si Miss Tolentino. Miss Tolentino? Miss Tolentino?
Any foreign bodies or materials are noted and collected, such as soil, grass, sand, etc. Then details of scalp, ears, face, nose, eyes, cheeks, lips, and mouth, the tongue, the throat, the palate, and the teeth. Traumatic asphyxiation from choking may result into ruptured retinal vessels on fundoscopy and petechiae on the neck and head. Use an ophthalmoscope. Ophthalmoscope. Common signs of oral trauma includes a torn frenulum of the upper lip, broken teeth, torn lingual or tongue frenulum, and contusions of the uvula, hard and soft palate. The neck, trunk, chest, breast, ribs, and abdomen, upper limbs including the cubital fossae, hands, fingers, and fingernails, and lower limbs looking for extragenital trauma.
Okay. Explain.
Di ko po ma-explain, Doc, at may mga terms po na unfamiliar po sa akin.
Okay. Kaya mo na. Tawagin natin si Miss Andrea. Miss Andrea?
Doc, present po.
Sige. Ikaw naman.
Yung slide po ay it focuses po sa pag-collect po ng evidence, pati po sa pag-check po ng injuries, kagaya po ng mga foreign materials po, kagaya po ng pag-collect po ng soil, ng grass, and ng sand, or ng mga other substance po na makikita po sa katawan po ng tao or sa damit po. Pagdating naman po sa head and face details naman po, ina-examine naman po dito yung ears, yung eyes, yung cheeks, lips and mouth din po, kagaya din po ng mga tongue, throat, and teeth for injuries or signs of struggle din po. And pagdating naman po sa signs of choking po ay tinitingnan po dito yung ruptures behind po sa eyes or small red spots po on the neck and head using po ng ophthalmoscope po.
Oh,
And pagdating naman po sa oral trauma naman po, pina-check naman po dito yung mga broken teeth po, torn tongue tissue, and bruises inside po sa mouth. And ang last po ay yung body examination po, na kung saan dito po ay na-inspect naman po yung mga chest, abdomen, arms, hands, and legs for any injuries po outside the genital area po.
so these injuries are extragenital. So when we mean genital, they refer to the genital organs proper. Okay. Now, itong frenulum ay pag binuka niya yung bibig nyo, sa ilalim ng dila ay meron dun sa midline na maliit na vertical soft tissue na kakabit sa tongue and sa lower part of the behind the teeth, yung frenulum, yung malambot lang yan. Kaya pag nagkaroon ng foreign object na pinilit ng assailant doon sa survivor or victim, ay usually they are torn. So, hindi lang bibig ang ini-examine, pati ilalim ng dila. Okay? Now, sa lahat ng ito, there are injuries which say that a sexual assault really happened. Okay? But the absence of any injuries on the body, genital, extragenital, will not say that there was no sexual assault happen. Paano yun? Kung bawa, the woman was sexually assaulted and the penis or the fingers were used in assaulting the woman using the fingers, the mere half entry of the male organ into the genital organ constitutes a sexual assault. Yeah, but it will take very hard for the defendant or the assailant or the victim to prove that this is what happened during the incident. So there are Supreme Court rulings that kahit na itinutok lang yung penis ng lalaki sa bukana ng vagina ng survivor, it constitutes a rape. And it's statutory rape pag ang survivor ay minor. Okay? Si Miss Panaligan ulit. Yung mga active lang na natatawag natin. Miss Panaligan.
Before ko po basahin, si Miss
Ah,
Cañero po and si Miss Pareha po ay mahina po ang internet.
sige.
Kagagawan din po ng bagyo po, Dok.
Sige. Pabibili natin kay Dean na lumakas ang kanilang mga modem. Sige. Incidentally, double doctorate degree na si Dean, Doctor of Educational Management. At meron na rin tayong bagong doktor na gumraduate na first batch sa forensic science, si Miss Daniela Blanco. So, ang tawag na sa kanya ngayon ay Dr. Blanco. Yung kasabay niya si Miss Sophia sa Facebook ay nag-post dun sa pinost niya sa Facebook, pwede bang magpagamot o magpakonsulta? Okay. Ewan ko. Sige. Sige, Miss Panaliga.
Physical examination. Continuation. The most common injured extragenital areas are the mouth, throat, wrist, arms, breasts, and thighs. Document the presence, size, and location of bruises, lacerations, bite marks, and scratches. Examination of the genitalia should occur last. Build confidence in the woman and provide dignity. Genital examination proper includes pubic area and state of the vulva.
Sige. Explain.
Yung first po, yung the most common injured extragenital areas po. Yung sexual assault hindi lamang specifically nangyayari sa private parts ng babae or lalaki na vagina or anal or yung sa penis din po. Nangyayari din po ito sa mouth, throat, wrist, arms, breast, and thighs po. Then yung kailangan po nating i-document yung presence ng mga bruises po sa iba't ibang part po ng sexual assault survivor po or victim. Bukod po dun sa presence ay kailangan din po natin i-document yung size nito and yung location po ng bawat injuries po. Then next po is the examination of the genitalia should occur last po. I think this is the reason behind this po ay yun po kasing mga bruises po, lacerations is mabilis po nating makikita or yun po, makikita po sa survivors po or victims. So, yung pong pag-examination ng genitalia is pwede po nating ipang last na. Yun pong build confidence in the woman and provide dignity. Yun po, bilang examiners po, kailangan po natin na paniwalaan sila, napakinggan sila sa mga ibibigay po nilang statement sa atin. Dun po, pag po na-feel nila na sila ay safe at yun pong hindi po sila na-judge, yun, nabibuild natin po yung confidence nila as a woman po na magbigay po ng kanilang mga statements. And then yung next po is genital examination proper. That includes po nga yung pubic area po ng babae. And yung kung ano pong estado ng vulva niya.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you po.
Si Miss Niel ulit.
Pre-existing medical conditions, prescribed medications, illicit drug use, previous history of child abuse or sexual assault po.
Sige, explain.
To me po, it is also noted since kailangan din po nating malaman whether yun pong survivor ay meron po siyang iba pong medical condition aside po sa kung ano po yung mga injury na nakuha niya because of the occurrence ng assault po sa kanya. So, malay niyo po, may sakit po siya sa puso or meron po siyang diabetes or meron po siyang ibang sakit. So, we have to take that in consideration din po. Next is kung meron pong prescribed medications, kung meron po siyang mga ini-intake na gamot, baka po meron na po siyang maintenance or meron po siyang, nagtitake po siya ng antibiotics. So, these are also things that needs to be considered. Illicit drug use naman po, it is also important in a way po na baka po itong si survivor ay yun nga po nagtitake po siya ng drugs. So it can also be a factor na kailangan din pong i-check uh, when it comes to the history. So since ito po ay orally taken, it could affect kung ano man po yung magiging result ng mga examination po niya, especially if the patient is under the influence of drugs. And last naman po is previous history of child abuse or sexual assault. Um, may instances po kasi na yun pong mga, I think it's an article po or a study na nabasa po namin sa previous namin na course na Bausi, na kung sino po yung mga abuse noong sila po ay bata pa, there's a high possibility na they will also experience abuse kapag ka po sila ay tumanda na. Since factor po na na-mention doon is kapag kapag po ang isang bata ay na-abuse, they might think na abuse is normal since wala naman pong nag-i-inform or wala naman pong nag-i-educate sa kanila na this is not good or this is bad. So parang growing up, nakalakihan na po nila yun and they might think na abuse is just a normal part of their lives. So yun nga po. This needs to be taken in consideration kung meron po silang history ng child abuse or instances po ng sexual assault. Yun po, Dok.
Sunod, ikaw ulit.
Okay. Ito po. Have consent to take photos of the genital injuries and if denied, take diagrams and note size. It is important that contusions may take 48 hours to be visible. Advise that she return for further examination for documentation. And on evidence collection, what specimens are to be collected? Plain cotton swabs, wet with little tap water or NSS, then smeared on a clean and dry glass slide. Both glass slide and swab are air dried. Back to basics of handling pieces of evidence and transport to the forensic laboratory.
Explain. So you must take or obtain a signed declaration that the survivor consents for all the examination. And kung fatal case, their relatives sign for the consent that the body can be autopsied. Pero we have a existing law. Any person dying of violence, the body is a property of the state. After which the forensic examination of the body may be given to the relatives. Okay. Ewan ko kung sinusunod yun. Okay? So, evidence collection, it depends upon the history. Okay? Itong part na ito, plain cotton swab, wet swab, it should be done by the examining doctor or the forensic science specialist. And back to the basics of handling pieces of evidence, chain of custody, and transport to the forensic laboratory, lahat ng safe procedures should be observed. Okay. Miss Tolentino ulit. Miss Tolentino? Miss Tolentino?
Yes po.
Your turn again.
Swabs are generally taken from areas that have been directly involved. Oral cavity should be done if oral penetration took place. Swab the oropharynx for gonorrhea testing and mouth for semen. Sperm have been recovered from the oral cavity up to 6 hours after the assault, even if the teeth are brushed and mouthwash was used. Scrapings from fingernails. Pubic hair should be combed. Secretions that pulled in the posterior fornix can be aspirated and placed in a sterile container.
Explain.
Sa ano po, sa pag-swab naman po, yung ginagamit po ang swabs yun nga po, dun po sa areas po na directly involved po dun sa incident. And yun naman po, sabi nga po, if oral penetration occurred, kailangan pong iswab yung oropharynx po for gonorrhea or to check for semen po, since sperm can be recovered po from the oral cavity up to 6 hours after the assault po. And if the person also brush their teeth po, dahil pag ganun po, hindi na po tayo makakakuha or makaka-recover po ng for testing po, or di na po natin ma-check if may semen pa po ba na natira, or if yun nga po, at okay pa po ba siya for gonorrhea testing. Sa fingernails scraping po, scrapings po are taken from the fingernails to collect potential trace evidence po. And yung pubic hair combing po, kailangan po if magko-comb naman po ng pubic hair, dapat po is slowly lang po. And then yung fluid secretions po that have pulled in the posterior fornix po, or dun po sa, pag sinabi po kasi posterior, parang yung likod na part po ng, ng vaginal canal po. And, parang they can be suctioned out po and placed into a sterile container po.
Okay. Sa pubic hair, they recommend the standard collection numbers of pubic hair as 30 hairs with roots. Okay. To exclude the presence of drugs sa system ng survivor or victim, and using the fine comb can help collect if there is any foreign pubic hair that was collected in the area na nanggaling sa perpetrator. Miss Alessandra ulit. Panaligan.
Medical problems that can arise from a sexual assault. STD or sexually transmitted disease, chlamydia or cervical swab. Chlamydia po ay kailangan ng cervical swab, gonorrhea, trichomonas, HIV, hepatitis B and C, syphilis, pregnancy, prophylaxis for above STD. Follow-up should be done weeks after physical examination.
Okay. Next. Mukhang gabi na tayo. Ito, importante. Miss Neil.
Emergency contraception. Offered to all women who were not using contraception at the time of sexual assault. Most effective form is either levonorgestrel if taken within the first 72 hours after sexual assault, or the IUD, which can prevent pregnancy up to 5 days after assault. Follow-up is crucial, and repeat urine pregnancy test 2 weeks after her next bleed or approximately 6 weeks after assault.
Okay. Self-explanatory ba, Miss Neil?
Apo, generally po parang ito po yung mga measures or safety measures na pwede po nating i-offer po dun sa woman, just for the woman na ma-prevent po na maging pregnant or mahawa po if there's, yun nga po, hindi po kasi alam, baka po may sakit po yung yun pong assailant niya po. So mostly po, these are just safety precautions or emergency precautions para lang po maprotektahan po yung woman na na-assault.
Nandun ba yun sa forensic medicine? Sa chapter on sexual assault?
Parang po, since napag-usapan din po natin yung about sa pregnancy po.
Ito naman, si Miss Panaligan.
Prophylactic meds po. For hepatitis, hepatitis B virus vaccine, and or hepatitis B immune globulin. For HIV naman po, Zidovudin, Retrovirr 200 milligrams orally 3 times a day po for 4 weeks. And Lamivudin po or Zefix 150 milligrams orally 2 times daily po for 4 weeks.
Expensive tong mga gamot na to. I do not know if they are given to victims of sexual violence. Okay. Next. Miss Tolentino ulit. Yan, specialty mo yan. Miss Tolentino.
Medyo malabo lang po sa end ko, Doc.
Malabo?
Apa.
Okay naman di ba? Yung screen.
Sa end ko lang po, Doc, dahil naulan pa din po dito sa may bawan.
Pero you can read.
Kaya naman po.
Sige.
Psychological sequelae can occur as a result of sexual assault. Symptoms must persist for less than 1 month and cause clinically significant distress or impairment in personal, social, and occupational functioning. acute stress reaction, post-traumatic stress disorder, dyspareunia, pelvic pain, irritable bowel symptoms, weight management issues, premenstrual disorder symptoms, migraine headache, fibromyalgia, and yun lang pa.
Okay, so merong psychological aftermath yung sexual assault. Meaning yung secular, yung post-incident result. And these are psychological. Sometimes if they are too severe, it may cause psychiatric sequela. Okay. Dyspareunia, yung painful sexual intercourse normally with husband. Okay. Pelvic pain, yan, mga gynecological effects. Weight management issues, some of them, dahil bumaba na ang kanilang self-esteem, they eat a lot. Okay, so they gain weight. Yan. Weight management issues. Or if they are taking psychiatric drugs, it can cause the individual to have high blood sugar and cause diabetes. And sometimes they cause, they affect the ovarian function of normal hormones from the ovary and cause weight management issues. Okay? Yung iba, sumasakit na before their monthly bleed. Yung iba may migraine, yung iba merong masasakit na muscles at mga kasu-kasuan, which are in medical terms, itong fibromyalgia ay multiple factors causing this. One is the psychological setup or constitution of the person. And one is the painful incident or experience in the past can cause this condition. Okay. How about a child or male survivor of sexual assault? The child may develop a developmental what they call it affection in their psychological setup. Okay. Male survivor, maring male survivor may laging gusto na lang sa isang kwarto dahil lalaki siya, inassault pala ng babae, nawala na siya ng self-esteem. Okay. Among others. Okay. Miss Panaligan.
Yes po, Doc. Role of an MD and pathologist in the semen specimen collection and sexual assault investigation. They must be knowledgeable and careful collector, and they must interpret po the documents or the findings po nila, and conversant in the principles of the test. They are responsible, their responsibility is if you did hundred of times collecting this specimen, it makes you a good and careful collector. And they must obtain training po in interpreting results. And should have read a lot about those principles po.
Okay. Malapit na tayong maggabi. tapusin na natin 'to. Yan. Sige, Miss Panay. Miss Panaligan.
Sorry po, Doc, nakamute po pala ako. Spermatozoa, morphology, best evidence when present. DNA is a reliable evidence, second only to the presence of spermatozoa. The appearance of spermatozoon should be embedded in your mind even with your eyes closed, or you need to visualize. If you had seen the appearance of a spermatozoon under a microscope 100 times, then you are reliable. Under the microscope, a scanner, 100 times, and oil immersion, 1,000 times magnification, pasilip-silip.
Okay. Miss Neil ulit. Pasahan na ba?
Okay po. What is PSA or P30? Is a prostatic specific antigen. Positive in seminal plasma, positive in male urine, positive in male blood, indicates semen even with negative spermatozoa, negative in female body, maybe B positive in male-female mixed specimen. Know its usage in investigating sexual assault investigation or SAI. Know its normal level in the male blood. Know its usage in detecting cancer of the prostate in males. Know the causes of false positives and false negatives.
Miss Panaligan.
Yes po, Doc. The take-home message po is the role of an MD po is to assess and treat all injuries, collect forensic evidence, ID and prevent STDs, assist in preventing pregnancy, minimize a psychological sequelae, acquire women's consent, and building up trust and confidence are paramount when doing forensic examination. After sexual assault, many women suffer ASR po daw.
Acute stress
Acute po
disorder.
ba yun?
Reaction.
Acute stress disorder. Tama po ba, Doc?
Acute stress reaction.
Okay. Which may persist and develop into PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder po.
So, next meeting, we will do this documentation. And sample forensic genital examination that we use at the NBI. So 90% correct in its form and content. Okay. So our reference, Legal Med, Olarte, Women's Health in General Practice by Dimasa, Knight's Forensic Pathology. Okay. Saan na ba tayo?